Hi, good morning. This is Wendy. I'm going to be transplanting not transplanting exactly, I'm going to be replanting some of my little finger carrots that I'm growing in this container. When I planted the seeds, I planted them all in a row down the middle. It's kind of like the French intensive method. But now that they've come up and I can see the individual stalks, I would like to give the carrots, which are the root, a little more room to grow. So I'm going to pull them out and reposition them in this pot. So I'll show you how I do that. First tool, everyone should have one of these. This is called a hori knife. It's a Japanese gardening knife. I've had this for almost 20 years. When I trained as a native plant steward in Washington State, this is what everyone recommends. It is the most versatile. It's got a smooth edge. It's a little sharp. It's got a serrated edge for when you need to actually cut through a root or something like that. Here, I don't know if you can see it against this contrast here. And it's slightly curved, but not too much, like a trowel. So it works like a knife, but also can work like a little shovel too. So, and then I'm going to use this to pull them out, and then I'm going to use this to make a hole to replant them. Just anything like a chopstick or some kind of small stick. So I'm gonna reach in here. I'm gonna go straight down, and I'm just gonna cut a little bit of a hole. I'm going to go down as far as I can, and I'm going to lift them out, and I'm going to lift soil with them. I'm going to knock some off, but I'm not knock too much off. All right. So this is what a young carrot looks like. I'm going to tease this apart. I'm just going to use this to kind of pull. I'm going to pull them apart. I want to be gentle. I don't want to damage any of the micro roots. That's the little teeny tiny. They're rootlets actually. Little teeny tiny roots that come off of the carrot. So I'm actually going to leave soil on where I can. This naturally fell off, but so here is one baby carrot. And there's the teeny tiny micro roots or rootlets. All right, and that's the carrot. That's the part that you eat. Remember, when you shop for carrots at the farmer's market or at the grocery store, they often will be selling them with the tops on to show that they came from the farm and they're a real plant. You need to remove those tops as soon as possible, because the plant is trying to stay alive by sucking nutrients out of the root. But in this case, we eat the root. So you want to get rid of the plant so you leave as much nutrients in the root as possible. All right, there's quite a few here. It didn't look like there were. I thought they were maybe a little bit further along. So some of them are, really quite small. So, and instead of planting them in a row, I'm just going to plant them randomly in the same space, and to give each of them room to get a little bit bigger around. So I'm going to kind of even out the surface area. And I'm going to poke a hole. I don't know if you'll be able to see this very well, but I'm going to poke a hole. Maybe you remember from my video that I did on the bok choy that I did this with. I did the same thing. I spread them around in their pot also. So I'm just going to take it, and I've poked a deep hole, and I'm going to align my tool with the root and guide it down deep into the hole as far as possible. So I'm actually going to poke the little tiny rootlets in, slowly push the carrot in, and then I'm just going to tamp the dirt around. Now it's going to probably be a little floppy until it reestablishes itself. So I'm gonna put another one close to it, but I want to take all those little tiny rootlets at the very bottom. I want to try to put them into the hole, poke them into the hole, and get them down as far as I can. That way they can grip and reestablish easily. Again, this one doesn't really even look like it has much of a carrot on it, really, but I'm pretty certain it's gonna really develop. Now, this container where it sits actually doesn't get a lot of sun. It only gets sun for maybe 3 hours, 4 hours out of the day. I mean, it gets a lot of heat, but not a lot of sun. And I think that's why it's doing so well, because I kind of started a little late in the year. And because I also started some seeds out in the garden in the alley that get pretty much full sun after 10 or 11 in the morning. And hardly any of those seeds came up. So I think they're in, I started too late. I needed to start in February, not April, basically. So I'm just gonna keep doing this with all of the entire container, and then I'm gonna water it well and put it back in its spot. And I will have bigger and better carrots, even though these carrots are still very small. They're called little finger. They're a miniature, like what you would buy a baby carrot size, which baby carrots are actually just ground up big carrots. I don't know if you knew that. They're not actually baby carrots. They're old big carrots that they're rescuing and salvaging and selling to you by grinding all the outsides off and making a little teeny tiny thing. Anyway, after I replant the whole container, I'll put all of this soil back, redistribute, tamp just slightly, but not too much, because I want to leave room for everything to kind of spread out. And then I'll water it for the day. So anyway, this is how you can start seeds intensively, but then kind of salvage and reorganize your garden space as the plants start to grow. You can, most plants, pull up and replant either in another location or in the same. If you're a container gardener, you can do the same thing easily. So anyway, all right, thanks a lot. Have a great weekend.